Welcome back to Action 2 News at 6. Tonight we're learning new details about what happened the night 23-year-old Braxton Phillips was killed at the Creekwood Apartments in Ashwaubenon.
According to court documents, 2 calls to 911 were placed 15 hours apart from the Creekwood Apartments. One of them, a gunshot call. In a first alert update, Samantha Cavalli has more on what she learned from those new court documents. Samantha.
Well, Bill and Cammie, according to the 37-page criminal complaint on March 1st at 6:21 a.m., Brown County Dispatch received a 911 call from the Creekwood Apartments. The caller stated hearing a gunshot but didn't know where it came from. At 9:31 p.m., friends of Braxton Phillips called 911 saying their friend no longer had a pulse. Friends of Braxton were unaware of any argument between Braxton and the suspect, Prez Wade. Text messages between Wade and Keilana Brunette, who's also a suspect in this case and have a child together, showed the men were arguing about Brunette's relationship with Braxton Phillips. Phillips and Wade were best friends. After authorities reviewed camera footage from the Creekwood Apartments and Keilana's phone records, it was determined that Keilana was at the scene picking up Prez Wade from the apartment the day Braxton was killed. During Brunette's initial appearance in court yesterday, we learned that she had allegedly lied to investigators throughout the entire investigation and destroyed both her and Wade's phones to help him get out of trouble. Wade told law enforcement that the shooting was an accident.
As you've had the opportunity to review in the complaint, he has admitted to his conduct and in shooting the victim, although he set forth to law enforcement that it was accidental. The conversations that he's had with the co-defendant indicate an intent that appears to be different than what he admitted to.
Prez Wade's bond was set at $1 million cash today. He was also charged with bail jumping and resisting or obstructing an officer. He'll be back in court on July 6th. Cammie.